I just launched the Agentic Pipeline course. In this course, you'll build an autonomous research pipeline using agentic engineering techniques. So let me first show you what this pipeline produces, and then we'll talk more about how you'll build it and who this course is for. So the pipeline generates a fresh startup idea based on reading hundreds of news articles, and then it produces a newsletter post. You see both the markdown version here on the left and the rendered version on the right. Let's maybe quickly scroll through it. So you have the signal, the problem that we're solving, the high-level solution. We cover the business case, broken down into the revenue model and the go-to-market strategy. Then we describe the moat. Why now is the right time to build this? Note how we have article citations throughout. So all of these posts are actually grounded in sources. And finally, we have the Builder's Corner. This is a proposed tech stack for building an MVP. In addition to the text, we have a header image. And then as a bonus, we even produce a podcast version.
Who actually champions the purchase order? And what stops Anthropic from just building a cost saver button right into Claude?
That's where it gets interesting. The champion is the CFO who walks the bill over to the CTO's desk.
All right. I'm Mirko, and I run a productionized version of this same pipeline as a daily newsletter called Gamma Vibe. A lot of people have been curious about how to build something like this, so I decided to build this course. In this course, you will learn how to build this pipeline from scratch with an AI coding agent writing most of the code and you making all the judgment calls. In terms of architecture, this is an autonomous Python pipeline that consists of 3 high-level phases. In the ingestion phase, we pull in the day's news, filter it down with a cheap and fast model, and then pull out the useful business signals. Then in the ideation phase, we turn those signals into a few distinct startup ideas based on 3 different archetypes for variety. And then we develop the most promising one into a full business model. Finally, in the production step, we write the newsletter, generate the image, and in a bonus module, produce the podcast. All of this is built on a database state-based architecture, so runs are resumable, and you can analyze data across multiple days. It's a real production design, not a throwaway script or anything like that. And it's fairly cheap to run, about $1 a day in API costs. In terms of approach, we'll be employing agentic engineering. So you'll write a prompt, you'll review the plan, look at what the agent produced, and iterate as needed. You can use Claude Code, which is what I use, or whatever coding agent you prefer. So Codex, Cursor, OpenCode, all of those should be just fine. And I show you the real process, warts and all, so not a cleaned up version. That means actual runs, actual bugs, and how I work through them. The course is hands-on. You'll build your own pipeline alongside me. And in some lessons, you'll take the first crack at a prompt before we compare. So let's take a quick look at what the actual course looks like. I think that's a little bit too restrictive, actually, because the goal of this step isn't to figure out the startup ideas yet. That'll happen in the next step as we cluster things together and so on. I just wanted it to be a little bit more discerning. And we're back. So that's the kind of thing we'll do throughout the course, right? We won't just accept whatever the agent produces. We'll use our judgment throughout. While this pipeline might seem like a very specific problem to solve, you'll learn skills that will carry over to any AI project. That means picking the right model for each job, running work in parallel, using embeddings and similarity search, and tuning with synthetic data. And of course, handling errors and retries. And really the part that I care the most about is the way of working, how you prompt, evaluate, iterate, and always be intentional and stay in charge on the engineering decisions that the agent can't make for you. That's the thing that transfers to whatever you build next. So a little bit more about myself, so you know whose face you'll be staring at for many hours. I have about 30 years of professional software development experience, many of those in the startup space, where I was an early engineer at a number of startups spanning different verticals. And after that, I spent 13 years at Google, most recently as a senior software engineering manager on Google Drive. And now I'm working on my own projects, including various AI experiments that I talk about on my YouTube channel, and producing courses like this. I also run gammavibe.com, which is a productionized version of this exact pipeline that we're building together. So that runs every day and publishes a real newsletter. And it's been running reliably for many months now. So in the course, you'll build the pipeline, and then taking it all the way to a hosted, published product is the natural next step that you can take on your own. So who is this course for? I've aimed it at developers with a working knowledge of Python and APIs. You don't need to be a Python expert, nor do you need a machine learning background. The agent handles all the boilerplate, and you make the calls. The course videos run about 7 hours across 12 modules, but you should plan for at least 10 to 15 hours to build alongside me, and possibly more if you experiment a lot. And the whole stack is swappable for your own preferences. I also run a free Gamma Vibe community where you can connect with other students, ask questions, and if you want more hands-on help, I also offer an optional coaching package alongside the course. You could use this to work through anything you get stuck on, or talk through your own ideas if you want my perspective on them. Totally optional though. So if you've always wanted to get past toy demos and actually build a real autonomous AI system end-to-end, I think you'll get a lot out of this course. The full course is linked in the description and also pinned in the comments. So go take a look at the curriculum and see what's inside the course. I'd love to see what you build.